Hello, Habari, Wendy Water here, and right now I am at Olepangi Farm in Timau, Kenya. But I want to film a video, which I know I've been promising for quite a bit. If you follow me on Instagram, on how to get from Nairobi to Zanzibar on a shoestring budget, I'm going to break down my trip, how much I spent on transport and accommodation, and how I got to travel from Nairobi to Zanzibar for cheap. I think this is the cheapest way you can get from Nairobi to Zanzibar, like short of maybe hitchhiking or whatever. So I've just taken a seat. I have some like dog hair all over me because I was holding one of the camp dogs. So if my shirt looks a bit like furry, it's because I have dog on me, that's it. Okay, let's get on with it. So essentials before you go to Tanzania. As a Kenyan, you need to have your ID or your passport, and you don't really need to have a visa as a Kenyan. But if you're coming from a country other than Kenya, then make sure you check the visa regulations for your country. Now, another thing you really need to have is your yellow fever certificate. Now, I didn't have one before this trip, so I had to go and get one, and I went to Kenyatta Hospital and I got it for 2,500. So it's pretty expensive, for a yellow fever certificate. It's like pretty expensive. And yeah, they just give you the injection, they give you the card instantly. And by the way, don't think there's shortcuts around this. You are going to have to cough up the 2,500 Kenyan shillings even if you go at Kenyatta Hospital. There are no shortcuts around it. You're not just going to be given, someone's not just going to like slip you the yellow fever certificate for like 1,000 bob. No. Plus it's good for you. You just get the injection, and then get your card, and that's it. But if you already have it, then you don't have to like acquire this cost of 2,500. So your trip is even cheaper. This one card is going to last you for like 10 years, and you can use it to access several countries around Africa, so just get it. Another thing to note is that night travel is banned in Tanzania. So most buses leaving Kenya for like Dar es Salaam, we leave very early in the morning. So I decided to go with Modern Coast. Of course, there are so many buses you can choose from. Just look online, just Google and find any bus that's available that you can take. And the cost was like 2,300 Kenya shillings. That's the cheapest you can get from Nairobi. And then we left very early the next morning at around 6 a.m. So you leave Nairobi and you go to Dar es Salaam via Arusha, and there's a quick stop in Moshi. And it's not a stop that's like long enough for you to get some time to go check out the town. You just make a quick, bathroom break, maybe go have some lunch, buy some snacks, and that's it. And then, yeah, so the trip was supposed to take 14 hours. I kid you not. We were on the road for a good 20 hours. I was on the bus for almost one day. Like, my butt has never been the same, And yeah, it was a very hectic bus ride, actually. So I don't know, I can't really recommend any other bus. And what's funny is that if I'm going to go back to Dar es Salaam, I would probably still take Modern Coast, because again, it's like a brand I know, and it's a company I've used several times. When I was on the bus, I was like chatting with two people, like the person that was sitting next to me and the person that was seated across. So they were siblings, and we just got friendly. We were talking about, I was telling them about Nairobi, they were telling me about Tanzania, and we were just talking about our countries, just a curiosity, getting to know each other and all that. So we became friendly. The time we were getting to Dar es Salaam, it was pretty late, and I hadn't booked accommodation. I didn't know where I was going to sleep, but for me that was fine, because it's like I would just get there, get an Uber, and then ask the driver to take me to a hotel in like the town, or a hotel in like the central business district of Dar es Salaam or something. So getting there, and because we were friendly, I asked them like, do you have any recommendations for a place I can go and sleep at, because I need to catch the ferry tomorrow morning, given that there are no night ferries in Zanzibar either. By the way, let me just pose the point I was saying. There are no night ferries, so if you get there late, you will need to get accommodation in Dar es Salaam for the night. Just note that when you're planning your trip, unless of course there's like the overnight ferries that carry goods and stuff. If you're on this boat all night, it's super cool. Like, don't do it, just don't do it. Get accommodation in Dar es Salaam for the night, and then yeah, catch the ferry in the morning, which is what I did. So anyway, for accommodation, these guys were like, hey, can you come and sleep at your house? So first of all, me being me and being raised the way it was, it's like you don't just meet strangers and next thing you're like, okay, yes, I'm going to come and sleep at your house tonight because you got friendly on the bus. I was like, that I've interacted with the whole journey, I've gotten to know them a bit, they don't seem like psychos. And so they put like their phone on hotspot for me to be able to like check social media and emails and stuff, and I'd checked their pages and they seemed, I mean, like non-killers. So I was like, okay, cool. When I was coming back, because on my way back from Zanzibar to Nairobi, I took a flight from Zanzibar to Dar es Salaam, and then I got I got a hotel. So the hotel I got, because I booked with Modern Coast again, the bus, the hotel I got was 1,000 Kenya shillings a night, and it was just recommended by the guy at the booking office of Modern Coast. So if you go there, just ask them like, hey, where can I sleep for cheap so that I can wake up in good time to catch the bus tomorrow? And yeah, they recommended a place that's literally in the next street. I think it was called Lumumba Street. So yeah, paid 1,000, but it's a pretty decent place. Like the room was clean, the sheets are clean, just the ventilation wasn't really like good. There wasn't like a good flow of air, but other than that, it was like a decent place to sleep in for the night, given that I was just like doing a stopover so I can continue with my trip the next morning. When you travel, book a hotel and then spend the night, whatever it is. If you want to spend more money, then you can find like a better place or whatever. But again, because this video is about budget travel, getting from Nairobi to Zanzibar on a shoestring budget, then get accommodation for 1,000 shillings next to the Modern Coast office, and then you don't even have to spend much on transport. So the next morning, I took an Uber, got off at the ferry stop, went, and then crossing over on the ferry as a Kenyan is 2,500 Kenya shillings. Yes, I mean, this is the cheapest. I'm telling you guys, this is the cheapest you can get, which I find so unfair. I find that so unfair because when Tanzanians come to Kenya, if they're going to take the Likoni ferry and cross over from Mombasa to Likoni, I mean, you don't pay anything. So why are you charging me 2,500? Aren't we like trying to, you know, like put forward a united front like the East African community? Aren't we brothers and sisters, or at the very least cousins? Your citizens are paying like 300 or 500 Kenya shillings. Okay, I'm not sure what the price is, I'm just saying. And then if you're not an East African citizen, so for all East African citizens it's like 2,500 Kenya shillings. If you're not East African, then it's even higher. It's like 3,500 Kenya shillings. Oof. That's like $35 thereabout. So yeah, crossed over with the ferry and got to Stone Town, and voila. So from here my trip becomes luxury because when I got there I stayed at Park Hyatt, which is like one of the most exclusive luxury places you can stay at in Stone Town. And then from there I went to Southeast Zanzibar, and I stayed at, oh my god, these places are fantastic, like very luxury high-end places. I started my trip by staying at Zawadi Hotel, and then I stayed at the Palms Zanzibar, and then I went and stayed at Baraza, which is like very opulent. So yeah, that's pretty much it. This was going to be a short video. When I was going back, I took a flight from Zanzibar to Dar es Salaam and then got the cheap hotel for 1,000 Kenya shillings, and then now I hit up my friends and we went and hung out at like a hotel there, had some drinks, music, just talked about creative stuff, and then the next morning took my bus back to Nairobi. To do a quick recap, you need 2,500 Kenya shillings for yellow fever passport. You need around 2,300 Kenya shillings for your bus transport from Nairobi to Zanzibar. You need about 1,000 Kenya shillings for accommodation once you're in Dar es Salaam, and then you need to budget for the ferry, which is around 2,500 Kenya shillings again. So it's pretty expensive. Actually, I know this is like how to get there on a shoestring budget. Trust me, this is like the cheapest place. If you have a cheaper way of getting from Nairobi to Zanzibar, then make sure you let me know in the comment section. Maybe you have some hacks that I didn't know about. Do let me know. And for accommodation, places I stayed at were super high end, so don't fit it within the context of this video, but let me give you some advice on accommodation. Tanzanian government taxes about 1,500 Kenya shillings per person for accommodation in hotels. So it's like wherever you're going to be staying, it's very hard for you to get a place that costs less than 1,500 Kenya shillings. So even accommodation is like cheaper places start at like 1,800 or like 2,000 Kenya shillings. I think it's because of the government tax, or at least that's what I was told, you know. And then for cheap food when you're there, because that's like usually another big expenditure, check out places like Forodhani Market. Oh my god, that place is fantastic. The Forodhani night market, you get a lot of Swahili food. It's being cooked live, being cooked right there as you watch. You can get like the Zanzibar pizza, and the vendors at the market are very like proud about. You'll get like a Nutella and banana pizza, or like a mango and Nutella pizza. And to be honest, this is more like a Nutella and mango crepe than a pizza, because it's a closed pizza. First of all, there's like, just go watch my previous video on my channel on 24 hours in Stone Town, Zanzibar. Yeah, so that's it. Once you get to the Stone Town, then from there you can navigate your way to other parts of the island. So that's it for this video. I'm going to have another video coming up later this week, so be sure to subscribe to my channel. Connect on Instagram. My handle is Button on the Go. And if you liked this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, because it will really help my channel grow. And I'll see you in my next one. Bye.